पनघट का कौन राह दिखाए, तुम बिन कौन प्रभु पार लगाए, तुम बिन कौन प्रभु पार लगाए। पानी गहरा दुर्गम सागर, पानी गहरा दुर्गम सागर, माझी मूरख स्वामी दया कर, माझी मूरख स्वामी दया कर, तारनहारी तेरे बिन अब भव सिंधु में कौन सहाय, भव सिंधु में कौन सहाय। बीच भंवर में डोले नैया, बीच भंवर में डोले नैया, पनघट का कौन राह दिखाए, तुम बिन कौन प्रभु पार लगाए, तुम बिन कौन प्रभु पार लगाए। शक्ति न भाए ज्ञान न आए, रोम रोम प्रभु तुझको बुलाए, शक्ति न भाए ज्ञान न आए, रोम रोम प्रभु तुझको बुलाए। जीवन स्वामी तेरे बिन अब काल मरण से कौन बचाए, तुम बिन कौन प्रभु पार लगाए, तुम बिन कौन प्रभु पार लगाए। दीन दयालु मंगलकारी, दीन दयालु मंगलकारी, तुझ बिन कोई न रक्षाकारी, तुझ बिन कोई न रक्षाकारी, प्राण तेरे चरणों में अब तू ही जीवन पथ दर्शाए, तू ही जीवन पथ दर्शाए। बीच भंवर में डोले नैया, बीच भंवर में डोले नैया, पनघट का कौन राह दिखाए, तुम बिन कौन प्रभु पार लगाए, तुम बिन कौन प्रभु पार लगाए।
যোজন যাজন স্তভৃতি কি যে মধুরে তিনি ধ্বনি যোজন যাজন স্তভৃতি কি যে মধুরে তিনি ধ্বনি দয়াল তুমি যে বিলালা এই ধরাত কত মধুর বাণী দয়াল ঠাকুর অনুকূল তুমি যে আমার প্রেরণার মূল
বন্দে পুরুষোত্তমম।
পুরুষোত্তমম
বন্দে পুরুষোত্তমম। বন্দে পুরুষোত্তমম।
বন্দে পুরুষোত্তমম।
বন্দে পুরুষোত্তমম
বন্দে পুরুষোত্তমম।
পুরুষোত্তমম।
वन्दे पुरुषोत्तमम्
বন্দে পুরুষোত্তমম। Praise the Lord.
বন্দে পুরুষোত্তম।
বন্দে পুরুষোত্তমম।
বন্দে পুরুষোত্তমম।
বন্দে পুরুষোত্তমম।
বন্দে পুরুষোত্তমম।
वन्दे पुरुषोत्तमम्
বন্দে পুরুষোত্তমম
বন্দে পুরুষোত্তমম।
বন্দে পুরুষোত্তমম। বন্দে পুরুষোত্তমম।
বন্দে পুরুষোত্তমম।
বন্দে পুরুষোত্তমম।
বন্দে পুরুষোত্তমম
বন্দে পুরুষোত্তমম।
বন্দে পুরুষোত্তমম।
বন্দে পুরুষোত্তমম। বন্দে পুরুষোত্তমম। বন্দে পুরুষোত্তমম।
বন্দে পুরুষোত্তমম।
বন্দে পুরুষোত্তমম।
বন্দে পুরুষোত্তমম।
বন্দে পুরুষোত্তমম।
मन्माथ श्री जगन्नाथ मद्गुरु श्री जगद्गुरु मदात्मा सर्वभूतात्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. Brothers and mothers, Jai Guru. On behalf of Satsang Canada, myself Amit Naik, welcoming all of you to today's virtual celebration of holy 134th birth anniversary of our love Lord Sree Thakur Anukul Chandra. Like past years, this year also Satsang Canada is celebrating this holy occasion. Because of COVID-19 restrictions, this is the second year we are holding this Utsav virtually. 𝗩𝗶𝗍𝗶 families across Canada have joined their hand to mark this occasion. I'm pleased to announce that Acharya Devsri Dada has blessed this occasion for its success. Anukul Chandra Chakravarti, referred as Sree Thakur by his devotees, was born on September 14th, 1888 in the village 𝗩𝗶𝗇𝗃 in Pabna district of East Bengal, which is now currently Bangladesh. His father's name is 𝗓𝗵 Chakravarti and mother is Manmohini Devi. At the beginning, I chanted the prayer Manmatha Sri Jagannatha. Part of that prayer, it says Madguru Sri Jagadguru. What does that mean? It means my Guru is the Guru of the Jagat, the Guru of the universe. Going with this line, here we are, spreading Thakur's name and his ideologies in Canada. Today, millions of devotees follow Sree Thakur, irrespective of their caste, creed, and community from all over the world. In Satyanusaran, Thakur says, take to the feet of a true master, go on taking the holy name, and remain in the company of 𝗩𝗶𝗍𝗶. Truly I say, you have no more to worry for your elevation. We are fortunate to have 𝗩𝗶𝗍𝗶 𝗨𝘁𝘀𝗃, great grandson of Sree Thakur, or the middle son of current Acharya Dev Sri Sri Dada in year 2015. And we are also fortunate that he inaugurated Satsang Kendra here in Toronto. Brothers and mothers, for this year, we have chosen Mr. 𝗩𝗶𝗍𝗶𝗁 from Toronto as our main Utsav coordinator. 𝗩𝗶𝗍𝗶𝗁 has been helped by many brothers and mothers from coast to coast in organizing different events, recording them, and putting them in Satsang Canada YouTube channel for the view of not only Canadian 𝗩𝗶𝗍𝗶 families but also for the families across the world. In today's Utsav, we shall have 𝗩𝗶𝗿𝗁, which is the inaugural ceremony. We shall have 𝗏𝗍𝗀, a discussion on the ideologies of Sri Sri Thakur and his quotes. We'll have Naveen, the children's satsang. We'll have Matri Sammilan, the women's congregation. We'll have main satsang, which is happening in the evening, which is evening prayer congregation. We'll have Bandana, a cultural fiesta to celebrate the Utsav. We'll end with the closing ceremony. I'm sure you will enjoy every section of this virtual Utsav. With this, I will hand over the stage to our Emcee for 𝗩𝗶𝗿𝗁, Sri Sukant Sen from Mississauga, Ontario. Sukanda, please carry forward. Jai Guru.
Joy Guru everyone, myself Sukant Sen from Mississauga, Canada. I am so fortunate to be a part of this inauguration ceremony. Thakur says, "You are for the Lord, not for others. You are for the Lord and so for others." So today I would like to welcome you all to this annual virtual Utsav to celebrate 134th birth anniversary of our loved Lord Sree Thakur Anukul Chandra. We are offering our prayer to the lotus feet of Sree Thakur Anukul Chandra to overcome the COVID pandemic situation very soon and our world become a better place. Our Utsav will start with a morning prayer followed by discussion and other cultural events. Please be with us in this spiritual event to enjoy the moments and enlighten yourself with the bliss of Sree Thakur Anukul Chandra. Joyta.
राधा स्वामी नाम जुगावे सोई तरे कल कलेश सब नाश सुख पावे सब दुख हरे ऐसा नाम अपार कोई भेद न जाने जो जाने सो पार बहुल न जग में जन्मई राधा स्वामी गाय कर जन्म सुफल कर ले यही नाम निज नाम है मन अपने धर ले बैठक स्वामी अद्भुति राधा निरख निहार और न कोई लख सके शोभा अगम अपार गुप्त रूप जहाँ धारिया राधा स्वामी नाम बिना में हर नहीं पावे जहाँ कोई विश्राम करू बंदगी राधा स्वामी आगे जिन पर ताप जीव बहु जागे बारंबार करू प्रणाम सद्गुरु पद्म धाम सतनाम आदि अनादि जुगदि अनाम संत स्वरूप छोर निज धाम आवे भवजल नाव लगाए हमसे जीवन लिया चढ़ाई शब्द बिढ़ाया सुरत बताई कर्म भरम से लिया बचाई कोटि कोटि करु वंदना अरब खरब दंडोत राधा स्वामी मिल गए खोला भक्ति कसोत भक्ति सुनाई सबसे न्यारी वेद कते बनता ही विचारी सत्य पुरुष चौथे पदवासा संतन का वह सदा विलासा सो घर दर्शाया गुरुपुरे बीन बजे जहाँ अचरज दूरे आगे अलग पुरुष दरबारा देखा जाए सुरत शिशारा इस पर अगम लोक न्यारा संत सुरत कोई करत विहारा कहाँ से दर से अटल अटारी अद्भुत राधा स्वामी महल सवारी सूरत हुई अति कर मगनानी पुरुष अनामी जाए समानी करू बंदगी राधा स्वामी आगे जिन पर ताप जीव बहु जागे बारंबार करू प्रणाम सद्गुरु पद्म धाम सतनाम करू बंदगी राधा स्वामी आगे बार बार कर जोर कार सविनय करो पुकार साधु संग महि देवनित परम गुरु दातार कृपा सिंधु समर्थ पुरुष आदि अनादि अपार राधा स्वामी परम पितु मैं तुम सदा आधार बार बार बर जाऊं तन मन और चरण पार क्या मुखले मैं गाऊं मेहर करी जस कृपा करो धन्य धन्य गुरुदेव दया सिंधु पुरन धनी नित्य करो तुम सेवा अचल भक्ति महि देव प्रभु दीनय दीनय नाथ हाथ हाथ मयान कर अब राखो नित साथ दीन दयाल कृपा निधि काम क्रोध मद लोभ सब विधि अवगुण हार मैं, प्रभु राखो मेरी लाज, तुम द्वारे अब मैं पड़ा। राधा स्वामी गुरु समर्थ, तुम बिन और न दूसरा, अब करो दया पर तगश, तुम द्वारे विलंब क्यों। दया करो मेरे साइया, देहो प्रेम की दार, दुख सुख कुछ व्यापी नहीं, छूटे सब उत्पाद। दया करो मेरे साइया, देहो प्रेम की दार, दुख सुख कुछ व्यापी नहीं, छूटे सब उत्पाद। बार बार कर जोर कार, सविनय करो पुकार, साधु संग महि देव नित, परम गुरु दातार। साधु संग महि देव नित, परम पिता। गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णु गुरुदेव महेश्वर, गुरुरेव परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अखंड मंडलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं, तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अज्ञानोदयन्तस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। स्थावरजङ्गमं व्याप्तं येन कृष्णं चराचरं, तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। चिद्रूपेण परिव्याप्तं त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरं, तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। न गुरुरधिकं तत्त्वं न गुरुरधिकं तपः, तत्त्वज्ञानात् परं नास्ति तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। मन्नाथो श्री जगन्नाथो मद्गुरु श्री जगद्गुरु, मदात्मा सर्वभूतात्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। गुरुरादिनादिश्व गुरु परम दैवतं, गुरु परतरं नास्ति तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ब्रह्मानन्दं परम शुभदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं, गण्डातीतं गगनसदृशं दत्तमस्यादिलक्ष्यम्, एकं नित्यं गगनमचलं सर्वधी शास्त्रीभूतं, भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं त्वां नमामि। सद्गुरुं त्वां नमामि, सद्गुरुं त्वां नमामि।
Welcome back. Now, at the starting, I would like to request 𝗩𝗶𝗍𝗶𝗃 from Calgary, Alberta, to read few lines from Thakur's handwritten book 𝗩𝗶𝗍𝗶 English version. Joy Guru.
Jai Guru. My name is Mithu and I'm from Calgary. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share today in this virtual annual Utsav 2021. I'm going to share a small extract from the Shottanusharan. Oh, you who would devotees be with hope for name and riches, don't make me your Lord and Master. Beware, if mastery within awakens not, Master, center none you have, and deceiving you shall be deceived. To know Dharma is to know that the root cause of anything, and to know that is wisdom. Attachment towards the source is devotion, and wisdom is in proportion to the degree of devotion. Devotion and wisdom will be as much as is gained through that attachment. As much as you are attached to a subject, so much wisdom do you have about that subject. The purpose of life is to drive away want completely, and that is possible only by knowing the cause. Exhausted in want, the mind seeks Dharma or the Supreme Being, otherwise not. What will remove want and how? From this thought, the question of the Supreme Being arises at last. What upholds the existence of an object is Dharma. So long as that remains unknown, nothing is known exactly. Jai Guru.
Thank you, 𝗩𝗶𝗍𝗶𝗃. It's really very meaningful in this current world. Now, I would like to invite 𝗓𝗵𝗶 from Guelph, Ontario, to read few lines from 𝗨𝗵𝗃 English version. 𝗓𝗵𝗶, over to you.
Joy Guru to all mothers and brothers. 𝗨𝗵𝗃, Women's Code. O my daughter, let your service, way of conduction yourself, thoughts and words, induce such an impulse among men in general, that they regard fully kneeling before you with head bends. Become charmed, enlightened, satisfied and gratified in calling you in a deeply reverential tone, my mother, my progenitress, then only you a daughter, then only you a chaste woman. Female instincts. In the instincts of women there are constancy, religiousness, nursing, serving, helping, protectiveness, inspiration, and reproduction. Do not lose any of these instincts of yours. If they are lost, what is left for you? Joy Guru.
Welcome back. Thank you, 𝗓𝗵𝗻. It's really important to follow 𝗨𝗵𝗃 for women to maintain good relationship in family. Now, I would like to welcome Shreya, Joyta, Ankita, 𝗩𝗶𝗏, Priyanka, 𝗩𝗵𝗆 to perform inauguration group dance on Thakur's songs. Let's encourage them and enjoy their dance. Joy Guru.
পিতা তোমার অমিয় প্রেমের পরশে জাগিবে ভুবন নবীন হরষে উঠুক দিনমণি অন্ধ রজনী রাখো হে চরণে 𝗩𝗶𝗏𝗁𝗁 হে পুরুষোত্তম বন্দে 𝗩𝗶𝗍𝗍 বন্দে
It brings a real Utsav spirit. Thank you, Sree, Joyta, Untitled Chapter, 𝗩𝗶𝗍𝗂𝗶, 𝗩𝗵𝗆, for your beautiful performance. Now, I would like to invite 𝗨𝗵𝗆𝗃 𝗪𝗏𝗪 and his family to say few words on Thakur's ideology and to perform a family kirtan from Toronto, Canada. Jai Guru.
मन्नाथ श्री जगन्नाथ मद्गुरु श्री जगद्गुरु मुदात्मा सर्वभूतात्मा तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः. My obeisance and regards, and I also bow down to the lotus feet of Sree Thakur, 𝗪𝗏𝗍𝗏, Chief Acharya Dev 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏, and present Acharya Dev 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏. I also bow down to all reverend members of Thakur family. Brothers and mothers, Joy Guru to everyone. Today I am very glad to get a chance to say few words on this holy 134th birth celebration of my loved Lord Sree Thakur Anukul Chandra. I like to start with human life. Generally speaking, human life is full of challenge, but at the same time, it is very easy if you know how to manage it. Adherence to an ideal brings so much positivity in us that we can manage all the challenges very easily. At one time, Sree Thakur said, if a person does not have a superior beloved in his forefront to whom he can attach himself through service, love and admiration, his instincts and his complexes fail to be enlightened and elevated. He can't enlighten himself. And if he becomes compelled to live in an environment with inferior instincts and complexes, his libido gets on the other way. That means instead of going in a positive way, his libido goes in negative way. That's what happens in a person's life. That's why Thakur has emphasized on three things: ideal, individual, and environment. All these three things are very important for a human being. We need an ideal to get my instincts elevated. As an individual, I need to follow an ideal to set the boundary for my life. An environment, without that we cannot grow, we cannot live. So all those three things are very, very important. In Satsang, you can see when Thakur was alive, all the good and bad people, they got shelter. And after seeing that, a lot of people raised question that why Thakur, why are you giving shelter to bad people? You know what Thakur answered? He said, have you seen a hospital where they don't give the treatment to bad people? No. They don't make a judgment on good or bad. Their focus is on how to get cure of that situation, how to prevent the diseases. Satsang is a man-making industry. It's exactly how to make our life better, how to make my life and growth better. That's all Satsang does. One time, a devotee, paralyzed devotee, came to Thakur. Thakur was talking to an engineer. He asked the engineer, hey, what will happen if you weld a small piece to a big piece? Engineer said, Thakur, two things. The small piece will not get lost, and the other thing, it will go everywhere where the big piece goes. After hearing that, the paralyzed person, he was so satisfied because he get welded with Thakur's principle. We have to try like that. We have to get ourselves welded to Thakur's principle. Then only we can get rid of challenges. Again, I get back to my starting point. Human life is full of challenges. But if I know the clue, if I have an ideal, if I have adherence to the ideal, everything makes very easy and simple. We know what to do. With that, I like to end here. Me and my wife will perform a bhajan, which is 𝗪𝗪 प्रभु का नाम पाया, जपते जपते सवर जाएंगे. What it means? We got the holy name, we got the shelter of Sree Thakur. With that attachment with Thakur, we get rid of everything. We will make our life happy, peaceful. Joy Guru.
जय
Thank you 𝗪𝗠𝗵𝗍𝗲 and 𝗨𝗶𝗄𝗎 for presenting the melodious kirtan. It's create a positive spark in the environment. Now, I would like to welcome 𝗪𝗠𝗍𝗶𝗨 from Edmonton, Alberta to perform a bhajan. 𝗪𝗠𝗍, over to you.
জয় গুরু। প্রেমী তোমারে প্রণাম জানাই, প্রেমী তোমারে প্রণাম জানাই। এসেছো তুমি প্রভু ত্রিতাপ হরিতে, নাই নাই আর ভয় নাই, ওগো নাই নাই আর ভয় নাই। তোমারে প্রণাম জানাই, প্রভু তোমারে প্রণাম জানাই। কাতর জীবনে দুঃখ বেদনে ভরা ছিল হিয়া যে ব্যথার রোদনে। কাতর জীবনে দুঃখ বেদনে ভরা ছিল হিয়া যে ব্যথার রোদনে। আসিলে তুমি হে মোর স্বামী, আসিলে তুমি হে মোর তোমার সেবার অমৃত হবনে আমর অনুগীতি আজ ধ্বনিছে ভুবনে তোমার সেবার অমৃত হবনে আমর অনুগীতি আজ ধ্বনিছে ভুবনে স্বস্তি মুখর প্রাণে তোমারি দয়ার দানে স্বস্তি মুখর প্রাণে তোমারি দয়ার দানে বর্ধন পথ মোরা পাই ওগো বর্ধন পথ মোরা পাই তোমারে প্রণাম জানাই প্রভু তোমারে প্রণাম জানাই সুনিষ্ঠ নন্দনায় তব বন্দনায় অনুগতি আবেগে শ্রীচরণ রাঙায় সুনিষ্ঠ নন্দনায় তব বন্দনায় অনুগতি আবেগে শ্রীচরণ রাঙায় নাই দ্বন্দ্ব নাই দেশ আনন্দ হরিল ক্লেশ নাই দ্বন্দ্ব নাই দেশ আনন্দ হরিল ক্লেশ ভরিল পরাণ প্রভু প্রণাম জানাই ওগো ভরিল পরাণ প্রভু প্রণাম জানাই তোমারে প্রণাম জানাই প্রভু তোমারে প্রণাম জানাই এসেছো তুমি প্রভু ত্রিতাপ করিতে নাই নাই আর ভয় নাই ওগো নাই নাই আর ভয় নাই তোমারে প্রণাম জানাই প্রভু তোমারে প্রণাম জানাই তোমারে প্রণাম জানাই প্রভু তোমারে প্রণাম জানাই প্রভু তোমারে প্রণাম জানাই জয় গুরু
Thank you, Swarnama. You really changed the environment by your beautiful bhajan. Now, I would like to invite 𝗓𝗏 and his daughter Sree from Montreal, Quebec to perform Kirtan. 𝗓𝗏, over to you.
होगा तेरा बेड़ा पार मनवारे होगा तेरा बेड़ा पार आसन सजाई के उनको बिठाई के आसन सजाई के उनको बिठाई के कर ले तू कोटि जुहार मनवा होगा तेरा बेड़ा पार होगा तेरा बेड़ा पार रे होगा तेरा बेड़ा पार आसन सजाई के उनको बिठाई के आसन सजाई के उनको बिठाई के कर ले तू कोटि जुहार बनवा होगा तेरा बेड़ा पार होगा तेरा बेड़ा पार रे होगा तेरा बेड़ा पार देख उनको तू भर के नजरिया पावन कर ले तू मन को सवरिया देख उनको तू भर के नजरिया पावन कर ले तू मन को सवरी सवरिया सवरिया
नजरिया नजरिया
सवरिया सवरिया
नजरिया नजरिया
सवरिया
नजरिया
सवरिया
नजरिया
अरे प्रभु की महिमा पार रे होगा तेरा बेड़ा पार होगा तेरा बेड़ा पार रे होगा तेरा बेड़ा पार आसन आसन सजाई के उनको बिठाई के, आसन सजाई के उनको बिठाई के, कर ले तू कोटि जुहार मनवा, होगा तेरा बेड़ा पार, होगा तेरा बेड़ा पार रे, होगा तेरा बेड़ा पार। सारा जगत के वो पालनहार, दुखियन के वो सुनते पुकार, सारा जगत के वो पालनहार, दुखियन के वो सुनते पुकार। हो पालनहार 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 पालनहार, करो विनती बारंबार रे, होगा तेरा बेड़ा पार, होगा तेरा बेड़ा पार रे, होगा तेरा बेड़ा पार। आसन सजाई के उनको बिठाई के, आसन सजाई के उनको बिठाई के, कर ले तू कोटि जुहार मनवा, होगा तेरा बेड़ा पार, होगा तेरा बेड़ा पार रे, होगा तेरा बेड़ा पार। त्यागी माया भव की गुजरिया, जो कोई जावे उनके शरण माँ, त्यागी माया भव की गुजरिया, जो कोई जावे उनके शरण, गुजरिया 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 गुजरिया, कर देते हैं उद्धार रे, होगा तेरा बेड़ा पार, होगा तेरा बेड़ा पार रे, होगा तेरा बेड़ा पार, होगा तेरा बेड़ा पार रे, होगा तेरा बेड़ा पार। आसन सजाई के उनको बिठाई के, आसन सजाई के उनको बिठाई के, कर ले तू कोटि जुहार मनवा, होगा तेरा बेड़ा पार, होगा तेरा बेड़ा पार रे, होगा तेरा बेड़ा पार, होगा तेरा बेड़ा पार रे, होगा तेरा बेड़ा पार, होगा तेरा बेड़ा पार रे, होगा तेरा बेड़ा पार, होगा तेरा बेड़ा पार रे, होगा तेरा बेड़ा पार। जय गुरु।
It's really amazing. Thank you 𝗩𝗶𝗀 and his daughter Sree for presenting the beautiful kirtan. Now we are at the end of Udbodhani program. So we'll end up the Udbodhani program by Joyta 𝗏𝗏 Kirtan, followed by Dhani by 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 from Brampton, Ontario. But it's not the end. Please stay tuned with the upcoming program. Now let's join Joy Radhe Radhe Kirtan. Joy Guru.
जय राधे राधे कृष्ण कृष्ण गोविंद गोविंद बोलो रे। जय राधे राधे कृष्ण कृष्ण गोविंद गोविंद बोलो रे। जय राधे राधे कृष्ण कृष्ण गोविंद गोविंद बोलो रे। जय राधे राधे कृष्ण कृष्ण गोविंद गोविंद बोलो रे। राधे गोविंद 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 बोले सदा डाको रे। राधे गोविंद 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 बोले सदा डाको रे। जय राधे राधे कृष्ण कृष्ण गोविंद गोविंद बोलो रे। जय राधे राधे कृष्ण कृष्ण गोविंद गोविंद बोलो रे। সাররে মন কপট চাতুরি বদনে বলো হরি হরি সাররে মন কপট চাতুরি বদনে বলো হরি 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 নাম পরম ব্রহ্ম জীবেরই মূল ধর্ম নাম পরম ব্রহ্ম জীবেরই মূল ধর্ম অধর্ম কুকর্ম ছাড়ো রে হরি নাম পরম ব্রহ্ম জীবেরই মূল ধর্ম অধর্ম কুকর্ম ছাড়ো রে জয় রাধে রাধে কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ গোবিন্দ গোবিন্দ বলো রে জয় রাধে রাধে কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ গোবিন্দ গোবিন্দ বলো রে ছাড়ো রে মন ভবের আশা অজপা নামে করো রে রেশা ছাড়ো রে মন ভবের আশা অজপা নামে করো রে রেশা রাধে গোবিন্দ নামটি বদনে লইয়ে গোবিন্দ নামটি বদনে লইয়ে নয়ন নিরে সদা ভাসরে রাধে গোবিন্দ নামটি বদনে লইয়ে নয়ন নিরে সদা ভাসরে জয় রাধে রাধে কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ গোবিন্দ গোবিন্দ বলো রে জয় রাধে রাধে কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ গোবিন্দ গোবিন্দ বলো রে রাধে গোবিন্দ 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 বলে সদা ডাকরে রাধে গোবিন্দ 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 বলে সদা ডাকরে জয় রাধে রাধে কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ গোবিন্দ গোবিন্দ বলো রে জয় রাধে রাধে কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ গোবিন্দ গোবিন্দ বলো রে ছাড়ো রে মন কপট চাতুরি বদনে বলো হরি হরি ছাড়ো রে মন কপট চাতুরি বদনে বলো হরি 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 বল 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 হরি নাম পরম ব্রহ্ম জীবেরই মূল ধর্ম নাম পরম ব্রহ্ম জীবেরই মূল ধর্ম অধর্ম কুকর্ম ছাড়ো রে হরি নাম পরম ব্রহ্ম জীবেরই মূল ধর্ম অধর্ম কুকর্ম ছাড়ো রে জয় রাধে রাধে কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ গোবিন্দ গোবিন্দ বলো রে জয় রাধে রাধে কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ গোবিন্দ গোবিন্দ বলো রে ছাড়ো রে মন ভবের আশা অজপা নামে করো রে রেশা ছাড়ো রে মন ভবের আশা অজপা নামে করো রে রেশা রাধা বল 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 রাধে গোবিন্দ নামটি বদনে লইয়ে গোবিন্দ নামটি বদনে লইয়ে নয়ন নিরে সদা ভাসরে রাধে গোবিন্দ নামটি বদনে লইয়ে নয়ন নিরে সদা ভাসরে জয় রাধে রাধে কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ গোবিন্দ গোবিন্দ বলো রে জয় রাধে রাধে কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ গোবিন্দ গোবিন্দ বলো রে রাধে গোবিন্দ 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 বলে সদা ডাকরে রাধে গোবিন্দ 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 বলে সদা ডাকরে জয় রাধে রাধে কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ গোবিন্দ গোবিন্দ বলো রে জয় রাধে রাধে কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ গোবিন্দ গোবিন্দ বলো রে জয় রাধে রাধে কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ গোবিন্দ গোবিন্দ হরে।
वन्दे पुरुषोत्तमं वन्दे पुरुषोत्तमं वन्दे पुरुषोत्तमं परम प्रेममय श्री श्री ठाकुर अनुकूल चंद्र जी की जय। परम प्रेममय श्री श्री ठाकुर अनुकूल चंद्र जी की जय। परमाराध्या जगत जननी विश्व कल्याणी श्री श्री बड़ माँ की जय। परमाराध्या जगत जननी विश्व कल्याणी श्री श्री बड़ माँ की जय। परम पूज्यपाद प्रधानाचार्य देव श्री श्री बड़दा की जय। परम पूज्यपाद प्रधानाचार्य देव श्री श्री बड़दा की जय। आचार्य देव श्री श्री दादा की जय। आचार्य देव श्री श्री दादा की जय। वंदे आर्य पितॄन् वंदे मातृवर्गं वंदे अहं कृष्टि दैवतं वंदे पुरुषोत्तमं वंदे पुरुषोत्तमं वंदे पुरुषोत्तमं परम प्रेममय श्री श्री ठाकुर अनुकूल चंद्र जी की जय।
Joy Guru to all of you, and a big welcome to the nationwide virtual 𝗓𝗶𝗀 2021 Satsang, Canada. In this session, 𝗏𝗏 we will be discussing 3 celestial messages of Sri Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra, which unfolds everlasting guidance of life and light. People from different ages and different parts of Canada will be participating in this panel of discussion. After the discussion of each message, we will be summarize the key thought behind it. Now let us start the discussion of the first message. Take to the habit, entwine yourself around the tree of the ideal. Fulfillment of desire shall be yours. Our first speaker, Mr. 𝗏𝗏 from Toronto. Joy Guru.
ओम ब्रह्मो पर ब्रह्मो कुल मालिक राधा श्यामी दयालेर श्री चरणे कोटि कोटि प्रणाम। Joy Guru. In this auspicious occasion of 134th birthday celebration of Sri Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra, my greetings to all the brothers and mothers of this universe. Sri Sri Thakur said, "Take the habit of the creeper and entwine yourself around the tree of the idol. Fulfillment of desire will be yours." Brothers and mothers, what a strong message from our love Lord. Sri Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra is ready to take all the burden of our life. All we have to do, surrender ourselves in His lotus feet, and He will take all the sufferings and award freedom to us. Who else is fortunate than us? Dear brothers and mothers, you may all know that a creeper is a plant that grows around a tree, and most of the time it feeds on the tree. But sometimes the creeper is fatal to the tree if the tree is not strong enough. It may result a fallen creeper along with the tree if the tree is not strong enough. So, brothers and mothers, what is the most important part of our life? To choose a right tree to grow around. And I can guarantee you, 𝗪𝗔 Thakur Anukul Chandra and his Satsang is the best tree which you can grow around. Brothers and mothers, at the beginning of Satsang, 𝗪𝗔 Thakur Anukul Chandra warned us not to choose himself as a lord or master to fulfill desire of name and to be rich. But here, 𝗪𝗔 Thakur Anukul Chandra wants us our desire to be fulfilled. So how is it possible? Once he said that he don't want us to choose him as a master to fulfill our desire. On the other hand, here he is saying that he wants our desire to be fulfilled. Have you ever think about it? Yes, it is possible. It is possible when our desire and his desire align together. Now, what is his desire? If we look into his teaching, he said, do never die nor cause death, but resist death to death. Brothers and mothers, have you ever think how optimistic he was? Our desire should be optimistic like him. At that point, I have no doubt that our desire will be fulfilled. Our desire should be beneficial for the others. Our desire should be for others' goodness, for others' welfare. What in the language of Gita it says Nishkam Karma. So 𝗪𝗔 Thakur Anukul Chandra bless us all and give us courage to fight against this pandemic, and may we get back to our normal life as soon as possible. May 𝗪𝗔 Thakur Anukul Chandra bless us all. My heartiest salutation to 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 𝗪𝗏𝗏 Dada. My heartiest salutation to 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Sree Borda and Sree Maruma. Joy Guru. Vande Purushottam.
Joy Guru, Mr. Palak Datto, you explained this message very well. You said, if we surrender on Sree Thakur's lotus feet, then he can take our burden and we can be free from our suffering, miseries, egos, etc. And it will lead us to our peaceful and prosperous life. Now, I will move on our next speaker, Mr. Yusuf Khan, Toronto. Joy Guru.
Jai Guru to everyone. My topic for today is a simple yet impactful line from the holy book Satyanusaran, where Sree Thakur says, take to the habit of the creeper and entwine yourself around the tree of the idol. Fulfillment of desire shall be yours. Once two friends caught up after a long time. One of them was a renowned wrestler by then, and the other was a high-profile manager with a big firm. They were reminiscing of their old days and living the nostalgia, thus diving deep into the conversation. Suddenly, the friend who was the manager caught the wrestler friend off guard and hit a hard punch on his stomach. The wrestler friend was taken aback by the sudden gesture, and he blurted out, "Ouch!" in pain. To this, the other friend couldn't stop himself from laughing out loud as he rebuked the wrestler, saying, "You are such a big wrestler and got hurt by a single punch." The wrestler didn't say anything and just smiled back, ignoring the sarcasm in his friend's tone. They were back to their small talks, and it wasn't too long thereafter that the manager friend attempted another punch at the wrestler's stomach. But this time the table turned, and the friend who punched screamed out loud in pain as if his hand hit a rock. Now, what happened was, the first time when the friend punched the wrestler, he was caught off guard and was not prepared for the blow. But this time, he was alert and fully prepared. Hence, he contracted his muscles as soon as his friend tried to punch him. And eventually, it was the other friend who got hurt. My takeaway from this story is that the Supreme Idol is the one who alerts us and makes us better prepared so that we can contract ourselves from all the negative complexes that can catch us off guard in life. When we cling to the idol and act according to his ways and will, we might face temporary hindrances, but eventually we will sail through them. When I was in a difficult phase of life, when nothing was working for me, both personally and professionally, and I was almost lost, Sree Thakur came into my life as my idol. And just like a person who is drowning holds on to any piece of wood he finds floating, I clung to him and his ideologies. And things slowly started falling in place for me. Today, I stand much stronger and more fulfilled. The relationship between an idol and a follower is just like a teacher and a student, which is based on trust, faith, and surrender. You must surrender yourself and hope that his will is fulfilled in me. Only then would you be able to enjoy the real bliss. There will be temptation, but whenever in doubts, I always question myself. If I do this, will it hurt my Thakur? And the answer that comes after automatically calibrates my actions. As young individuals, we deal with so much of performance pressure around us, be it at office, be it about what our peers are doing, and so on and so forth. But when I think of it, I feel I have nothing to feel pressured about, because I believe in his will, and if he wills, it will be, and it will be for my own good. We must start believing that we are not the heroes of our stories, and it's our idol who is the real craftsman. Complete surrender to the Supreme Beloved is the highest form of devotion. It signifies accepting every situation as a gift from him. It means living each moment to perfection by utilizing all our mental, physical, and spiritual potential to the maximum. Spirituality indicates doing things in the right spirit and with untottering faith. Surrender is hard when it is not daily. Hence, adhering to his principles of 𝗔𝗱𝗃, 𝗔𝗱𝗃, and 𝗪𝗏 offers us an uninterrupted channel of trusting him, having faith in him. The magnanimous tree of the idol is ever forgiving, ever protecting, and ever calming. When we entwine ourselves around it, we find peace even amidst chaos. Peace is not a picture-perfect situation, rather. It's about finding the calm even in the most chaotic situation, having control of one's mind, being able to judge the right and wrong, and all these automatically happen if we give in to the will and ways of the captain of the ship, our beloved idol, Sree Thakur. On that thought, I would like to conclude my discussion for today. I pray to the lotus feet of Sree Thakur so that we all can adhere to our ideal better and find the courage to surrender ourselves to his will. Jai Guru.
Jai Guru, Mr. Yusuf Khan, for your insightful explanation. The conclusion is that you must surrender yourself to Sree Sree Thakur and hope that his will is fulfilled in you. Only then you will be able to enjoy bliss. Perfect. Now I will move on Mr. 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗃 Edmonton, Calgary.
Joy Guru. My topic of discussion is from the holy book 𝗪𝗏𝗪 on verses take to the habit of the creeper and entwine yourself around the trees of the ideal fulfillment of desire shall be yours. In this verse, Thakur has so beautifully given an analogy of creeper that entwines itself around the tree. The creeper embraces the tree and stays attached to it and grow up and up. Wind blows all the time from all the directions. Strong wind knocks it down, still it gets back and hold onto the tree. Our complexes tend to move us away from Ishta. As the attachment grows, even the strong wind cannot separate the creeper from the tree. We have to have that kind of attachment to Sree Sree Thakur, and success, both material and spiritual, will come automatically. Identified in the fullest is not possible without our ideal. Human beings are pure in nature, but that doesn't mean that they know the details of good and ultimate good. Even the sharpest minds in human history, moral philosophers, they have failed to agree in what is ultimate balanced good for all of humanity. Anything worth accomplishing doesn't materialize overnight. We all know that it is not about what you do once in a while. It all boils down to what you do daily, consistently, and habitually. Obviously, this means that it will take time and effort on your part. Habits are the small decisions you make and actions you perform every day. Habits are good and bad. Your life today is essentially the sum of your habits. It could be any ideal to succeed in certain aspects of life. If one wants to be a successful actor, he has to have the ideal in acting. However, no one is complete ideal for life except Sadguru, Parampita. He is the wholesome package of life. 𝗪𝗏𝗀𝗪 Joy Guru.
Joy Guru, Mr. 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗃, you have explained the message wonderfully. Now, I would like to thank all of you for your insightful explanation. So the key thought is that we clearly understood the message, take to the habit of the creeper and entwine yourself around the tree of the ideal. If we follow his guideline, we will be protected by him, so we can grow eventually, and all kinds of success and fulfillment will come automatically. Now, I will move on to the next message. Love without loving activity towards the beloved is sham, and speaker is Mr. 𝗪𝗶𝗏 Toronto. Joy Guru.
Joy Guru, everyone. My topic for today is love without loving activities towards the beloved is sham. I would like to share a short story in this context. I have a friend who always wanted a parrot as a pet when she was a child. The desire was so strong that her parents gave in to her wish and got her the bird. She was so excited to see her new friend, who she thought would be her companion for life. She lovingly called the parrot Mittu and started spending most of the time with her, talking, playing, feeding, and taking care of her. As days passed, the time my friend spent with her pet gradually started declining. She had new toys, new friends, and her focus slowly started shifting from her once dear pet to others. Her parents noticed this change and asked her one day if she still loves the parrot, to which she said, "Of course, I do, and would keep her forever." But her attention towards the pet kept diminishing more and more with every passing day. Previously, she fed it timely with her own hand, but now she didn't even bother to put food in the cage or to clean it. The responsibility slowly started shifting to her household help, who of course didn't bother about the parrot as much as the owner would. One day, my friend came from a birthday celebration after having a blast, and she was in a joyful mood. She went to the balcony to get some fresh air and noticed Mittu's cage. And to her utter surprise, Mittu was nowhere to be seen, and the cage door was wide open. It was after a while that she was closely observing her once best friend's place of stay, and what she further saw made her burst into tears. The cage looked extremely dirty with leftover foods and organic wastes. And it had become a heaven for red ants who were moving into clusters. My friend realized what she had done. We two had flown away, never to return, teaching my friend biggest lessons of her life. Our love for someone or something should not just be in the words, but through our actions as well. We must walk the talk. We might feel that we have a deep liking towards someone or something, but if we don't bother to translate that into loving or constructing activities, the emotion is rendered meaningless. Having a massive worship room for Lord but not serving Him with our own hand doesn't help. Rather, one should have one is having limited resource, but making the most out of it would really help. Sree Thakur's ideology says, "Doing is the mother of getting." Our love for the beloved should reflect in words, actions, thoughts, and reactions. Only then it would be truly justified. If you want to be the best at your work, but it's not followed by necessary efforts or hard works, your version of being the best will only remain a distant dream. We may think we love our parents dearly, but if we don't consider them before taking any actions that might hurt them, it is hypocrisy in disguise. When you truly love the beloved, every word you say, every step you take will be to fulfill Him. The connection with your ideal is selfless and demands complete surrender. It's always Him before you or anyone else. When one can do this, only then his love for the ideal is unadulterated. When we say we love Thakur unconditionally, that also implies that we adhere to his principles without failure. Hence, religiously following the important tenets like jajan, 𝗔𝗵𝗇, prayer, meditation, and sustini sadachar should come as natural love towards him. This is the way of our contributing towards loving activities. Love must have disciplines. We cannot do things as per our whims and fancies. Not following these activities in the rightful or meaningful manner would dilute our devotion. We should not love Him for any selfish or ulterior motives. I have seen people suddenly starting to pray hard or do religious activities with the expectation of getting something out of life. That doesn't amount to activity out of love, rather out of materialistic desire. One should avoid doing that, as it's an embarrassment. In fact, when your love for the beloved is all you can think of and it comes to you as the most natural feeling, your actions that follow are genuine and most organic. There is no pretense there. The Supreme Beloved is ever so merciful and kind and doesn't need much to be pleased. I urge everyone to show your love towards Him with meaningful and heartfelt activities that justify your devotion and emotion towards Him and in the most fulfilling way possible. I pray at the lotus feet of Sri Sree Thakur for everyone's well-being. Thank you. Joy Guru.
Joy Guru, Mr. Sripati Mahanta, you explained the message very clearly and you said, we love Sri Sree Thakur unconditionally and tools of loving activities are jajon, ishtoviti, meditation, prayer, sostayani and sadachar. Love must have discipline. We cannot do things as per our whims and fancies. Now, I will move on to the next speaker, Joyta Bhattacharya, Toronto.
Joy Guru to everyone. I offer my prostration at the lotus feet of Sri Sree Thakur, Sri Sree Boroma, Acharyadev Sri Sree Borda, Bartaman Acharyadev Sri Sree Dada, and Pujaniya Sri Sree Babai Dada, and my heartfelt obeisance to each and every member of Satsang family. Being an ordinary devotee of Sri Sree Thakur, I am going to explain my feelings about Sri Sree Thakur's ideology. Nowadays, everyone's life is so stressful. During this demanding situation, we are so fortunate and blissful to have Thakurs as our pathfinder. Thakur's ideology gives us calmness of mind. One of Sri Sree Thakur's Vani, love without loving activity towards the beloved in Sham, has been touched the deeper layer of my heart. According to Sri Sree Thakur, love satisfaction is only in bestowing in giving. It has no affinity with the dealer mentality of give and take. There is no expectation in it, no hope for returning. Lust is the opposite of love. It is the inclination to get. It's wanton, it's wanting, and unprincipled. Love is the genesis of life. Thakur said, people say it is blind, but it is consciously blind for the life of lover. Thakur also says, love is eternal and universal truth. Sincere love to all living beings on the world brings the purity of mind. The main ingredient for making our heart pure and immaculate is love and worship. So to love and stand beside all human beings is served to the Almighty God. We should abstain from showing exaggeration and come forward together to stand beside all to hoist the emblem of love. Sometimes people seem to have great affection for God, but sometimes their affection towards the God may turn superficial and false. Because of that, they fail to do what God commanded. People seem excited to hear Love Lord's word, but in reality, they do not practice them. Rather, they went after their own lustful desires, and their hearts were devoted to personal with earthly gain. Sri Sree Thakur as a living ideal, it becomes easy for the follower to follow him. His ideology to be followed, the idea is to be loved. For me, Sri Sree Thakur is an ocean, and I am going to drench inside all of my affection. With His grace and blessing, I have to say, we are for the Lord, of the Lord, and by the Lord. Joy Guru.
Joy Guru, our Joyta Ma, you explained the message clearly and you said love is the genesis of love. Love is eternal and universal truth, of course. Thank you. Our next speaker, Mr. Nilanyon Chatterjee, Edmonton, Alberta. Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Sree Thakur once said, love without loving activity towards the beloved is sham. Sham means false, fake, to feign, bogus, which is the opposite of genuine, true, real, natural. Sham, or hypocrisy, when caught or uncovered, leads to shame. It's like saying, I'm a volunteer, but actually I never volunteered. I love my child, but the fact is that I neglect or even abuse my child. A healthcare worker could be saying he or she cares for the patient, but when in fact the patient, when in pain or in need, might not even get a response from that healthcare worker. I could be releasing a drug for a sleeping pill in the market tomorrow and claim, you take this. It'll give you a great night's sleep. You spend a lot of money and you take the pill. You not only not get to sleep, you actually gain weight. These are all examples of sham. This reminds me of Sree Thakur's 𝗩𝗶𝗀𝗶, as I talked about, which is simple in message but has profound meaning. It also reminds me of the great 13th century poet Jalaluddin Rumi's spiritual guru, Shamsi Tabriz, who had 40 rules of love. And one of those said, there are more fake gurus and false teachers in this world than the number of stars in the visible universe. Don't confuse power-driven, self-centered people with true mentors. A genuine spiritual master will not direct your attention to himself or herself and will not expect absolute obedience or utter admiration from you, but instead will help you to appreciate and admire your inner self. True mentors are as transparent as glass. They let the light of God pass through them. Isn't that true? We're so fortunate to have some examples of what that means. An example comes to my mind in a 13th century Christian missionary from Spain by the name Ramon Lull. When he finally found God in Christ, his loving activity happened to be evangelization. He traveled at great personal risk to Africa to try and preach the message of Christ and even try to convert them. He had been thrown into jail 7 times. Finally, he had to pay with his own life. Closer home, Sree Bharda said he loves children. He not just said that. He actually, even at his advanced age, would take a busload of 50-plus kids to different places just to give them a good time. Sree Thakur, whose mother was probably his first and true beloved, was his idol. He did loving activity throughout his life just to make her happy, to the extent that he made sure that he never made her feel hurt or unhappy. An example being, he on purpose failed a math exam just to prove that her mother was right. All these are great examples of loving activity towards beloved. We have a true guru in Sree Thakur who not only helps us lead our life truly and morally by leading as an example. We are so blessed. Jai Guru.
Jai Guru, Mr. Nilanyon Chatterjee, for your insightful explanation. You said Sree Thakur has taken his mother as his ideal. He has done everything to make her happy. Now, the key thought is that love without loving activity has no value. There is a lack of connectivity, lack of care, and a lack of respect. In reverse, love with loving activity has enormous power. It develops respect, caring, trust, keen relationship, etc. etc. Love is an empty word without respect, and without respect, relationships are lost. Now, I will move on to the next message, 𝗪𝗲𝗡, our Satsang motto, being and becoming. And the speaker is Mr. 𝗔𝗵𝗿𝗁 Roy. Jai Guru.
At first, I offered my pranam to the lotus feet of Sree Thakur, 𝗩𝗵𝗆𝗀𝗃, 𝗪𝗔𝗵𝗆𝗃, Sree Acharya-dev, lotus feet of Pujyapat Babaida, Pujaniya Abinda, and others members of Thakur's family. Sree Thakur Anukul Chandra, popularly known as Sree Thakur. Definitely he is our God, physician and founder of Satsang. His followers strongly believe him the latest incarnation of God as Lord Rama, Lord Krishna, Lord Buddha, Lord Jesus, Prophet Muhammad, Sree Chaitanya, Sri Ramakrishna. We know Thakur Anukul Chandra was born on September 14, 1888, 𝗪𝗶 𝗩𝗶𝗀𝗹, in 𝗪𝗵𝗆𝗆 village in the Pabna district of Bangladesh. His father was Shiv Chandra Chakravarti and his mother was Manmohini Devi. Manmohini Devi had strong spiritual thrust from the early childhood, and had received the holy name in her dream, and later she had her formal initiation to holy name from Radha Swami. Now come to the point. Thakur Anukul Chandra's teaching and philosophy is considered to be based on enhancement of the being and becoming of every living creature. He opined that everything that humans do both individually and collectively must be beneficial to the human existence in their entirety, and thus addressed the process and philosophy of existence through his life. Thakur said, "What I see, what I think, and what I know to be beneficial to our life and growth, with every blessing outspoken, replay as far as I conceive." Thakur said, "Dharma and religion are not the same, but complement each other." He defined dharma as that which uploads existence, and religion as the act of bending oneself with the ideal. According to the Thakur, the word dharma can be turned as that which uploads existence. At the same time, Thakur explains dharma means the laws and principles which govern our life and growth. Here, life means being and growth means becoming. Now, question: how to ensure the being and becoming? Thakur has given 5 important things which can guide us, which can make us as the son of Father, the Supreme. Not only that, this can make us as a pious person. These are 𝗤𝗏, 𝗔𝗱, 𝗫𝗏𝗍𝗍, 𝗏𝗏𝗍𝗍, and 𝗏𝗏𝗍𝗏. It's very hard to explain 5 things within a short time. 𝗤𝗏, in a simple word, to elevate oneself by following a living ideal. 𝗤𝗏, to motivate others through active service. 𝗫𝗏𝗍𝗍, a daily love offering for my Supreme Lord. 𝗏𝗏𝗍𝗍, 5 principles to achieve healthy, happy, long life and peaceful life after death. 𝗏𝗏𝗍𝗏, to accept and embrace everything properly. I strongly believe, and each and every individual who are the followers of Sree Thakur Anukul Chandra strongly believe these kinds of 5 pillars can make individual life, family life, social life, and life all over the world nice and happy. So, if we demand that we are the son of Father, the Supreme, and if we think our being and becoming will be nice, we have to follow these 5 things. Now I want to conclude my piece by saying one thing. We know what is our destination. We know what is our by-born duty. We are the best creature of God. What is our main duty? The one and only main duty to establish 𝗦𝗶𝗶𝗍 in our life. To create the love and affection for every individual. So, it is not important to have a long friend list in my life. This is my personal opinion. Rather, it is important to have at least one friend who can read my face, who can create love and affection in my heart, who can guide me, who can teach me, and who will be the best friend when I will leave from this world. So, this is my request to each and everybody. If you ensure the being and becoming, if you ensure the welfare for each and every individual all over the world, we have to make at least one friend who will be my Almighty God, who will be the Parampita. So, I pray to the lotus feet of Sree Thakur for each and everybody's peace, long and happy life. Joy Guru to all.
Joy Guru, Mr. 𝗔𝗶𝗀𝗶𝘀, you have explained the message wonderfully. You said, Dharma means laws and principles which governs our life and growth. Life means being and growth means becoming. Perfect. Now I will move on to the next speaker, Ms. Priyanka Roy Burman, Toronto. Jai Guru.
Jai Guru to everyone. My topic for today is being and becoming, which is 𝗪𝗪𝗔. I would like to begin with a short story. There were 3 friends who graduated from IIT Mumbai. After graduation, all 3 moved to the US for work and got settled and eventually lost contact. One day, coincidentally, all of them met at the John F. Kennedy Airport. And yet more shockingly, each one of them was traveling to Mumbai to their respective hometowns. Upon meeting, everyone became nostalgic and decided to meet one of their favorite professors from IIT. When they reached Mumbai, they straight away headed towards the professor's house. He was delighted to see them and welcomed them in. They started having small talks and all the friends were talking about their lives, families, how well they were doing in their career and so on. But after a point in time, the positivity in their conversation suddenly started fading away. And they started talking about how hard life is, how stressed they were, and the fact that though they were earning big money, but their personal lives were jeopardized as they were unable to strike the right work-life balance, kids were not getting the right values imbibed, there were marital issues, and the problems that further came along seemed unstoppable. The professor patiently heard them all and calmly asked them to relax and offered coffee to everyone, to which all of them agreed. He goes into the kitchen and comes back not too long after with a jug full of coffee. But what was interesting was, on the coffee tray, he brought along an assortment of coffee cups. Some were highly ornamented. Some looked very expensive, made from porcelain and china clay, and others were very ordinary-looking glass and plastic mugs. He offered the tray to his ex-students and everyone chose their respective cups and poured coffee and had it. Once they finished their drinks, the professor suddenly threw a question at them. My dear children, did you notice something interesting? The 3 friends looked confused and thought, what was he talking about? Seeing them perplexed, the professor said, did you notice that all 3 of you naturally chose the best and most expensive looking cups from the tray, ignoring the ordinary ones? Did that make the coffee taste any better? The room suddenly felt quiet and the friends went tongue-tied. The professor continued, it's not wrong to aim for the best things in life, but the issue is, while we are so eager and ambitious to increase our standard of living, we completely forget to elevate our standard of life. Our standard of life is not about how much we earn, how well we dress, or what brands we are working for, or any such external ornamentation. But it is actually about our internal engineering. This is exactly the premise of my topic today. Sree Thakur Anukul Chandra's ideology about being and becoming is about raising our standard of life. It explains how humans are different from animals and are an elevated species. Even animals exist, they have a being, but they lack the capability of existential growth, which is becoming. In Sree Thakur's words, the mission of life is being and becoming. It depends upon one's surrender to one's ideal. Consummation of such surrender leads to God realization. So the mission of life is God realization. Being signifies a sum of physical, mental, and spiritual existence of an individual, while becoming is how we can expand, evolve, and attain a balanced development of the three elements of being. Being and becoming should coexist to lead a meaningful life. If we just exist and survive, but there is no growth in our lives, there would be stagnation. On the other hand, you can only grow when you have an existence. The very foundation of Satsang encircles around 𝗪 as Sat is nothing but existence, and Satsang means the assembly of the lovers of existence. The way to achieve this is to strike an orchestration between self, the ideal, and the environment. Having Sree Thakur as our living ideal, the center of our life, we can adjust ourselves according to his will and ways and serve the environment in his name. This in turn helps to refine ourselves as individuals, as his servants, thereby contributing to the environment constructively, as individual and social integration are inseparably intertwined. Sree Thakur says, "Let everyone out of the urge to fulfill his Lord be conversantly conscious of his neighbors, provinces, country, and sister countries, and willingly serve them daily as his own, with his daily earnings, with every good wish. That is the blessed way to make all adequately interested with every nurture of progressive prosperity." Let's think like this. Whether you are wearing a Rolex or a Titan, it would tell you the same time. Whether you are driving a Bentley or a Chevrolet, the destination remains unchanged. Whether it's a Michelin star restaurant or homemade food, it can equally satiate your hunger. There's no harm in aiming these luxuries. I too aspire to have them. But if my foundation is not strong, if my complexes are not adjusted, if I don't adhere to an ideal who can guide me at each step of my life, and if my sense of being and becoming is not accurate, these luxuries will be meaningless and unenjoyable. Thakur's theory of being and becoming indicates that every life on the earth has a natural and organic urge to preserve and promote itself. To do this, there is need for a concentric disciplined life in accord with the environment. Sree Thakur believed every living being has the right to live and to fulfill his becoming. He waged a war against disease, death, and destruction, and in his own divine words he said, "Do never die, nor cause death, but resist death to death." Under the umbrella of our Supreme Beloved, we don't just survive, but experience an overall physical, mental, and spiritual development within, and evolve as a much more complete human being who knows and recognizes his ideal, understands himself better, and coexists with the environment constructively. Thakur's ideologies beautifully translate the same thought into action. Through Jajan, one can stimulate the brain and train it to be sensitive. Jajan not only helps you to uplift yourself, but teaches you to be conscious of the need of the environment around you. And Ishtavritti strengthens our love for the ideal so that the receptivity of our mind and the sense of responsibility towards the environment is fulfilled according to his will and for his sake. A well-decorated house that has a weak foundation cannot stand the test of time, no matter how alluring it looks superficially. But a house with strong foundation can stand unaffected in the face of any storm, tornado, and calamity. Hence, while aiming to light up and glorify everything external, we must not ignore attaining inner enlightenment. The beauty of 𝗪 or being and becoming lies in the fact that you not only go through life, but grow through life. You not just earn, but you learn. You don't just exist, but you experience. With this, I would like to conclude my discussion for today. I pray to the lotus feet of Sree Thakur for everyone's overall life and growth and being and becoming. Jai Guru.
Joy Guru, our Priyanka Ma, you explained the message eloquently. The mission of life is being and becoming. It depends upon one's surrender to one's ideal. Perfect. Now I will move on to our final speaker, Dr. 𝗪𝗶𝗀𝗃𝗋𝗋. Jai Guru.
Joy Guru, mothers and brothers in faith. My name is 𝗪𝗶𝗃𝗋𝗋, Satsang, Canada, with grace of 𝗪𝗶 and blessings from Sree Dada, is arranging Canada-wide annual virtual Utsav due to COVID-19. I have been advised to say few words within 8 minutes about being and becoming. First, I am going to start with Sree Thakur's words, 𝗩𝗵𝗆𝗀𝗀 in Bengali. 𝗩𝗵𝗶 নিজে থাকে ধর্ম বলে জানিস তাকে. According to 𝗪𝗏, page number 30, I am telling in English, to be blind is unfortunate indeed, but to be without a staff is even worse. For the staff does much of the eye's work. Going to school only doesn't make a student, and taking the initiation only doesn't make a disciple. The heart should always be kept open to carry out the orders of the master or teacher. Being consists of the physical, mental, and spiritual existence of an individual, while becoming is the expansion, evolution, and balanced development of all three components of being. Being wants to exist along with conscience and steps towards becoming. When this mission is properly fulfilled, life becomes blissful. Now, I will tell something about myself, how I am blessed with after initiation from Sree Thakur. I was born in Bangladesh in a village where I spent my childhood. I took the initiation in 2000 while I was working in Bangladesh after graduation from the Engineering University in Bangladesh. Since then, I used to participate in Satsang activities in Dhaka. I was doing 𝗔𝗱𝗃, 𝗔𝗃𝗃 on regular basis as well. I got an opportunity to pursue my MSc in Germany with German government scholarship. After my MSc in 2003, I returned back to Bangladesh to continue my work in Bangladesh civil service as a railway engineer. While I was working in Bangladesh, I also got another scholarship from Japan government to pursue my PhD in Japan in 2004. After my PhD in 2008, while I was working in Japan Science and Technology Agency as a research scientist for a few months, I got another prestigious postdoctoral fellowship to work in the University of Toronto, Canada. After successfully working in University of Toronto for 2 years, I moved to Australia in 2010 in November to work in the Swinburne University of Technology located in Melbourne, Australia. While I was working in Swinburne University of Technology, I also got another opportunity to work world-renowned university named Monash University, also located in Melbourne. And I was doing research, I was performing activities for the universities, as well as I was applying my application for Australian immigration, but I was facing some difficulties with the medical exam during the final stage of my immigration application in Australia. Also, I had an application for Canada immigration that I submitted while I was in Canada in 2008-2010. Because I was facing some difficulties, and at the time I have seen that my son has difficulties as he has developmental delay. My son's name is 𝗔𝗱𝗃𝗀𝗃, and his name was given by Thakur Bari, Sree Dada. When my son was interviewed to the doctor who took the medical exam for Australia immigration, he did not answer the questions appropriately what doctor was asking him, and our immigration application in Australia was not go through. But when my son was interviewed to the doctor who took the medical exam for Canada immigration, he answered the questions what doctor was asking him, and we got the permanent resident immigration in Canada in 2014. And accordingly, we moved to Canada in 2015 and leaving my job at Monash University and looking for a job in Canada, and I got an opportunity to work in the University of Guelph, where I was working for 6 years. And I am doing some research as well as a lot of teaching in engineering in the University of Guelph. In January 2020, we become the citizen in Canada, including my son, and who fulfill all the requirements for the Canadian citizenship. And from these struggles that you heard, and also my success in my life, I also would like to say about Sri Thakur's few words again. If man struggles through sufferings and if he is self-centered, then he develops the strength and experience with which he can control all conditions. Moreover, the mission of human life is being and becoming. It depends upon one's surrender to one's ideal, spiritual guide. Consummation of such surrender leads to God realization. So the mission of life is God realization. Joy Guru to everyone.
Joy Guru. Our last speaker, Dr. Jhantu Saha, explained his life experience wonderfully. He said, if we surrender on our true master and follow his spiritual guidance, we can develop our mental strength to control all our negativity. Now, let me the recap of the last message. We are taught two things: surrender to the true master, and he is the absolute, and do our duty under his guidance. We have to spirituality in our daily life. When we have unconditional surrender and intense love to our true master, only then we can get the peaceful mind, joy, and freedom. We can feel secure because we are attached with permanent and detached from impermanent. Now, I would like to conclude our panel of discussion. I would like to thank each and every participant for sharing their profound thoughts on our love Lord Sri Thakur's messages. I hope our viewers have enjoyed just as much as the participant and have found the beneficial to elevate their life. Joy Guru and 𝗏𝗏 Purushottamam.